If you take the wage gap the way it's calculated, but what it doesn't account for is multivariate analysis. And when we have these conversations about gender, it tends to be univariate, one way. We don't take into consideration that women, just like women want higher representation at the upper levels of corporations, right? Okay, then I want you to have higher representation at the lower levels too. You need to be digging ditches. You need to be trashmen. They only want the representation at the higher end, but you don't want it at the lower end. Yes, there are women who are valuable in corporations, this, that. In your line, STEM, science, engineering, technology, and math, it is known that colleges and universities are struggling to get more women into these programs. After companies are built, women coming in and doing these things, yes, but who's taking the risk building these organizations? And overwhelmingly, it's men.
Ladies and gentlemen, I came across a very interesting statistic and fact today. Maybe you guys were already on this, but this is the first time the Good Doc has ever seen anything like this or this particular stat. LeBron James's salary, just this past season's salary, was 3 times more than the entire WNBA salary for every player in that particular league. I'm not sure if that includes the people who work behind the scenes, the managers, the team coaches, and all that stuff, but god dang it might as well. Okay? LeBron James' salary alone in 1 year, 3 times more than the salary of the entire WNBA. Now, you're going to have some people looking at it like it's not fair. Okay? It's not fair that one man's salary is equated to the entire salary of an entire league. People are going to argue for equality. You know who's going to argue for equality, right? And like my man Kevin Samuel said, and I loved it, and I felt it was pertinent. That's why I try to tie it in and connect it to this video. Basically, my man said, if there's going to be representation at the high levels, there's got to be representation at lower levels too. The people basically doing the grunt work. And that's just loosely stated. I mean, that could be anybody, janitors, whatever it may be, right? But he also said something that really ties into this based off of the fact that it seems as though people, young ladies, want to become a part of something that is already built, right? As opposed to being there to help build it up. Now, the NBA has been around for decades, right? And of course, the NBA is played specifically by men, right? 100% of the players are men. And I'm not going to sit there and say that women actually had a chance to play in the NBA. Although they wish that they could play in the NBA, it just wouldn't be fair. And I'm not saying that women can't do anything that a man can do, but let's be honest, it just wouldn't be fair, right? So what happened, in my opinion, the way I see it, these women were basically gifted an entire organization of their own. They were gifted their own league. Men helped to build up the sport of basketball. And then after it was built upon their backs, they basically gifted a league to women and called it the WNBA. And like my man Dave Chappelle said in his comedy special, if women were just good enough to play against men, they would just play in the NBA, right? So there's a reason why they have their own league. And that league was gifted to them as a result of the success of the National Basketball Association. But yet and still, there's always going to be people who are saying that men aren't supporting, like I said before in my past video, men aren't supporting the WNBA and, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. And like we said before, women are barely supporting the WNBA. So how can you be mad at men for not supporting? Well, I wouldn't say not supporting it, but not being involved in it when it seems that women are not even getting behind the WNBA. Please believe you're going to find them women sitting courtside or in the stands of, these NBA games. Let's be real, right? Your socialites, the ones who are so captivated by getting them a ball player, they gonna be there. Believe that. But you can't get the inspiration behind the WNBA. So when you ask, why is LeBron James's salary 3 times more than the salary of the entire WNBA, I believe it's pertinent to understand that he's able to get paid this due to revenue, due to the fact that he is an iconic standout player in the NBA. People know LeBron James, right? People know Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? People know Kevin Durant. So they get these high salaries because they are known names. To be honest with you, I swear on everything that I love, I can't even name 3 WNBA players. I can name one only because I saw them on the broadcast with, Shaq and them when they be on TV. Sometimes I'll see a young lady that played in the WNBA or still plays, I'm not sure. So I might be able to name at least one, but I'd be damned if I can name 3. But how many women do you know can name a WNBA team, let alone one particular standout player from the league itself? So it comes with recognition, right? It comes with knowing who the stars are, who the teams are, who the players are, going out there, buying the jerseys, doing all of this stuff, buying the shoes, whatever it is to help build up the organization. But that's just not something that is happening, right? Somebody commented interesting on that particular video, and I kind of called the WNBA a subsidiary of the NBA. And they were like, a subsidiary is at least something that actually is earning revenue. And if you guys know, I believe every year for the past longest, the WNBA has been losing money. I want to say tens of millions of dollars annually losing. But yet and still, the NBA has not cut the cord on a losing venture. Mainly because I already know the backlash that they would get, and they know what it is, so they just got to keep it on the books. I would hope they'd be able to utilize it as a tax write-off or something. I don't know. Maybe they get some tax credit for being able to write off their losses for the WNBA. I don't know. But again, if you want to know why LeBron James is being paid 3 times more than the whole salary of the WNBA, WNBA ain't bringing in no money, boo. It's just not. And it's not your fault. Well, whose fault is it? It's nobody's. Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? I don't necessarily blame the players. They're going out there, they're doing their thing, they're playing, they're doing what they're supposed to do. But they just can't get the support. You gotta blame women. The WNBA was made for women, right? So I would hope women would support it. Like the national soccer team, I think they have a great following. The women's national soccer team, the U.S. soccer team, I think they have a hell of a following. I believe, right? I think they get good support. But the WNBA is just not following suit. So basically what I would do, me being a thinking man, I would be like, yo, let me see what these women over here in the soccer team are doing to get this following that they have, whether it be at the U.S. level or not. It could just be regular women's soccer, whatever. Let me see what they're doing over there to get their audience, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Soccer is a sport that is international. I don't believe that there are as many women in other countries that are looking to play basketball like that. Seems like more of a U.S. thing, a Western thing. There might be some women in Europe, but in the Philippines, I don't see a lot of women basketball players at all. And I don't want to say this, but I gotta say it. And I'm gonna leave you with this. It seems very masculine to play basketball overseas. Let me say it a little louder. Basketball is somewhat of a masculine sport. Basketball is something that most men are known to play, right? And when I go over abroad, it's not women that are playing it. It's men that are playing it, not women. In the U.S., of course, it's different. Like I said, you can't help what you love. You can't help the sport that you love, but let's be honest. Basketball is a masculine sport. And it's just not going to get that worldwide captivation that I think other sports will. And I think that's one of the reasons why you got to look at why LeBron James' salary is 3 times more than the entire league. Just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think, man. Comment section below. It's been a good doc. Want to support, please feel free. I will highly appreciate that. You know what it is. Time for me to go and get the getting. Doc is out. Peace.